When I told my sister, she wasn't surprised. She said Lincoln was abusive and had been hitting Gemma. Gemma had even gotten a restraining order against him, and she told me everyone knew and that it was messy. I didn't know anything was happening because I was busy with work. Anna told me Gemma took pictures of the bruises Lincoln inflicted on her, and I felt so sorry for her, but I was mad at myself for not knowing this earlier. She was my friend, and I should have protected her. I visited Lincoln at his home the next day and told him I was disappointed with him for what he did to Gemma. He didn't seem sorry, and he called me a puppy and said he knew I still had feelings for Gemma, and I was just jealous that she chose him and not me. I realized that talking to him wouldn't change anything, so I went to see Gemma instead and apologized for not being there for her as a friend. She told me she had gotten over everything that happened. She was seeing a therapist and recovering. I gave her a spare key to my condo and told her to drop by whenever she wanted. She told me she had been spending a lot of time with my sister, but since she was married, she felt like she was intruding on her privacy. I assured her my sister and her husband didn't mind her being around them, and I wouldn't. Gemma started visiting me often. Sometimes, she'd sleep over in my guest room, and when I had a party and had guests over, she would sleep in my bedroom while I slept on the sofa in the living room. She'd make dinner for us or get a good wine on her way to mine, and I'd cook dinner for us. As usual, we were drinking in the kitchen while playing cards when Gemma leaned over and brushed her lips against mine. I froze. I didn't see it coming, and secondly, I didn't feel anything when her lips touched mine. She tilted her head back when she saw the look on my face, and she started to gather her things to leave. I told her I'd drop her off, but she refused. The following day, I saw her because I didn't want her to feel bad about the kiss. I told her the wine we had the previous night was strong, and we laughed over it. However, she said she wanted to talk to me, and it was good that I stopped by. She held my hands and, with tears in her eyes, confessed her love for me. She told me she was in love with me and that she was sorry it had taken her this long to realize it. I didn't want to hurt her feelings, but I didn't have any romantic feelings for her anymore, as what I felt for her was more infatuation than love. I told her that she had just gotten out of a relationship, and she was still hurting and needed some time to heal. Gemma told me I didn't understand what she was trying to say and that she had been in love with me for years. She said she wasn't professing love for me to get back at Lincoln or use me as her rebound. She wanted us to be in a relationship and reminded me I had promised love to her a few years ago. I told her that I was fascinated with her, and I confused my feelings for love. She backed away from me, telling me I was hurt and she would do anything to prove her love for me. My heart softened. She was still my friend. I would have hugged her, but I didn't want her to think I was playing games with her. The pain in her eyes broke my heart, and as I made to leave, Gemma said she didn't believe me. She hugged me from behind and asked me not to punish her for the way she treated me in the past. I wasn't trying to punish her, but she wouldn't stop begging me. My sister was waiting for me when I got home. I suspected something was up, but she brought pizza and beer, and I'd never say no. She started casually, asking me if I had seen Gemma recently, and I immediately knew they had been talking about me. I asked her what was on her mind, and she said Gemma was my soulmate and I should give her a chance. I told her I had an interest in someone else, and she said Lincoln manipulated Gemma into getting into a relationship with her, and it was me she wanted all along. She asked me to give Gemma a chance, and once again, I told her I was interested in someone else. I didn't hear from Gemma for a week, and when I reached out to find out if she was okay, she texted me back that she didn't want to be friends with me anymore and that we should stay away from each other. My sister also stopped talking to me because she thought I wanted to punish Gemma for rejecting me when I first professed love to her. 2 weeks later, I had had enough of the cold treatment from the two women in my life. I went to my sister's house uninvited and stayed for dinner. Afterward, we sat on her porch, drinking wine, and I brought up the issue. I told Anna I genuinely didn't feel anything for Gemma anymore and only cared for her as a friend. After a long pause, Anna apologized for her behavior and said she was no longer interfering in my business. Although Gemma stopped talking to me, she'd stop by my place when I was at work. I could smell her on my sofa and she'd sleep in my bed and not make it.